Welcome, students of grade 10. My name is Miss Nisha Bamfield, and today we will be looking at principles of business. Our lesson focus is industries, with more specific attention to their locations. Our lesson objectives for today are to outline the factors that determine a business location, to list the factors that affect the location of a business, and to identify the 5 pillars for choosing the perfect business location. A location is the place where a particular point or object exists. Location is an important term in geography and is usually considered more precise than place. A locality is a human settlement, city, town, village, or even archaeological site. Factors determining business location. The 3 most important things in retailing are location, location, and location. However, although it is a well-worn cliché, it still has some merit. It was reputedly first said by the former boss of Marks and Spencer, Lord Sheaf, to describe the main success factors in his business, and certainly in retailing. If you get the location wrong, it can have a serious and often disastrous effect on the business. For businesses in some sectors, location really is critically important. For others, it is a relatively minor decision. The key is to consider the main issues faced by a business choosing a business location and to address the most appropriate way of making a choice. Location decisions are usually pretty important to both large and small businesses. The location decision has a direct effect on an operation's costs, as well as its ability to serve customers and therefore its revenues. Location decisions, once made, are difficult and costly to undo. The costs of moving an operation are often significant and run the risk of inconveniencing customers and staff. It is always best to get the location decision right the first time. Main factors influencing choice of business location. The main aim of choosing a business location is to achieve a balance between 3 related objectives. 1. The cost of the operation. 2. The customer service that the business wants to provide. And 3. The potential revenues that can be achieved from the location. The factors that influence the choice of a business location can be divided into 2 broad kinds. These are the supply factors, which relate to and is mainly concerned with the operating costs of the location. 2. The demand factors. These factors mainly affect customer service revenues. Looking at these 2 groups of factors in a little more detail, here are some of the issues a business needs to consider. The supply factors. Labor costs. Often a major factor, particularly if the decision is to locate overseas. Labor costs vary from region to region, but the biggest difference is between European nations and the low labor cost countries overseas. Land costs. Sometimes the land will be purchased, but more often it will be rented along with the business building and facilities. Rentals can vary enormously depending on the location and the facilities provided. Government grants and other incentives are also often available to reduce the land costs of locating in poorer regions. Energy costs. Some businesses use substantial amounts of energy, example, gas and electricity, but they should be able to negotiate a good price for their energy needs regardless of location in the UK. Transport costs. Transport includes the cost of getting inputs into the business, such as raw materials for the production line or stocks for sales, and also the cost of getting products delivered to customers. A business needs to be close to its source of supply if the cost of transporting raw materials is high or difficult. For many businesses, the cost of distributing to customers is not a significant issue. Delivery firms might carry out the transportation. In many cases, the customer comes to the business. Community factors. The cost of a business location can be influenced by many non-financial factors, but which can still be significant when making the choice. These include local amenities and services, local government attitude and supporting businesses, language, political stability. Demand factors. Customer convenience. Probably the most important factor. Many businesses need to be located where customers find it quickly, easy, and cheap to access the service being provided. For example, a fast food outlet needs to be somewhere close to a strong customer footfall, not hidden away out of sight. Out-of-town retail parks are situated within a convenient short drive from major population centers. Labor skills. Where specialist skills are required, this can be a big issue. For example, technology firms tend to locate themselves in areas where there is well-established expertise. Site suitability. A site may need to have some particular characteristics to maximize customer satisfaction and revenues. Example, a luxury restaurant or hotel needs to be located somewhere that customers find attractive, not in the middle of a trading estate. Image. This is more intangible, but often important. Some customers associate a product with a certain area and prefer to buy from there. Example, walking equipment. A business based in the Lake District might enjoy a better perceived reputation. Expansion potential. Future production capacity often has to be taken into account. A location might tick many other boxes, but if it provides limited scope for expansion, then it might be rejected. If a location restricts output, then revenues are potentially damaged. Parking and accessibility. Consider the accessibility of the location for every person who will be coming there. If you are on a busy street, it is easy for cars to get in and out of your parking lot. Your facility also needs to be accessible to people with disabilities. Competition. Are competing companies close by? In some instances, this can be advantageous if comparison shopping is popular. You might end up catching the excess from nearby businesses if you are seated near an entertainment area or restaurant. However, if you are selling CJ Aviation fuel pumps and there is a competitor nearby that sells the same thing, start looking elsewhere. When customers are looking for very specific products, they understand that their choices may be limited, so they will probably only visit one location. Factors affecting location. These are geographical, availability of raw materials, availability of supplies, infrastructure, power, water, transport, health facilities, labor supply, governmental regulation. Why is location important? Location plays a huge role in attracting and retaining the best employees, many of whom keep a close eye on where they are based in order to optimize work life. And 2, good location decisions can significantly boost a company's long-term performance. A successful company is always looking for new market and new growth opportunities. In today's global economy, that can mean sourcing the world for location. The process of site selection begins when a company decides that an existing office or location should be moved or a new location should be added to the portfolio. How to choose the perfect business location. Here are the 5 pillars for doing so. Number 1, Develop a detailed list of selection criteria. The first step in selecting a new site is to develop an exhaustive list of selection criteria. The list should capture the most important qualifications for the new site. How close are the company's customers? Where is the nearest port? How much land is needed? What is the workforce like? What are the minimum electricity needs for the new plant? Number 2, analyze quantitative and qualitative factors. Qualitative factors do not have a direct effect on the company's bottom line, but are nonetheless crucial to its success. Qualitative factors include the size and surroundings of a community, the local educational system, and the connectivity of the community to nearby markets. Number 3, research competing communities and evaluate data. In most instances, a company and its consultants will request data from potential candidates, states, and communities, and will also review public and subscription databases to generate a preliminary field of potential sites. Initial visits are made to the site that are deemed suitable. This early screening may be done by the company or its consultants. Number 4, consider incentives and bonuses. When the field has narrowed to a handful of adequate sites, the company usually turns its attention towards incentives. Starting up a new plant represents a huge investment on the part of the business, and a good incentive package can reduce the investment risk and ultimately help the company open a successful and profitable plant. This is beneficial to all parties. And number 5, finalize the decision. Memorialize the deal. After the finalist communities have put together their best incentives package, the prospect is in a position to make a final, often agonizing site decision. When the decision is made, the winning site and the prospect typically memorialize the deal with a written agreement, often called a memorandum of understanding or development agreement. Question. In the Guyana context, consumers' choices may be frequently limited when looking for very specific products, so they will only visit one location. True or false? This is false. The Guyanese consumers will never stop at one location in order to find what they're looking for. Students, we have come to the end of today's lesson.